I've been developing websites since 1995 and have looked at a lot of different content management systems. You might not be convinced yet that Joomla is the best solution for you. So in this lesson, I'm going to explain why I went with Joomla over the thousands of other CMSs out there. If you're convinced that Joomla is right for you, move on to lesson 3.
Here are the main points that attracted me to Joomla. It's free. Many of the sites I develop are low cost, so I needed a low cost CMS. Joomla is free, which allows me to use it for even the most basic of sites. It's also cross-platform. It doesn't matter if you use a Mac, PC or Linux, you can use Joomla. As I explained in lesson 1, sites can be hosted on either the Apache server, usually on Linux, or Windows IIS. Support. The greatest criticism of open source applications is the lack of support. Joomla has an extremely large user base, which means you can ask questions in the online forums. If you really get stuck, there are commercial support providers, and you can outsource your project to thousands of keen developers. It's been around for a while. As there are so many CMS products available, some of them do disappear very quickly. If you make the wrong choice, you're stuck with software that has no support or ongoing development. Joomla is here for the long term and has a history dating back to 2000. There are loads of extensions. Extensions are programs created by third parties that extend the functionality of Joomla. Examples include shopping carts and membership sites. Many of these are free, but some are commercial add-ons which come at a price. By itself, Joomla is very secure. However, like any software, you need to keep it current and take particular care when installing extensions. I'll discuss this in a later video. When I weighed up these benefits, Joomla looked like a good option. But what about other popular CMS software? There are two big contenders, Drupal and Wordpress. Now, there's nothing like a software comparison to spark a debate, and as you'd expect, I'm somewhat biased towards Joomla, but I'll try and be objective. There are actually some really good features in these other products. The first thing I'll point out is the amount of search interest between the three. Let's take a look at a tool called Google Insights. This report displays the amount of interest in each of the CMSs over time in Google. The blue line at the top is Joomla. WordPress is next, and then Drupal. Right now, Joomla and WordPress are neck and neck, but Drupal is a fair way behind. Now, to be fair, this doesn't prove much. Joomla could be a terrible product that happens to be well marketed and therefore attracts interest, but I like to use this as a starting point because it provides a broad overview of the interest in the product. The more interest, the more likely that it will continue to develop. Now, let's take a closer look at the other main contenders, and I'll start with Drupal. Broadly speaking, Drupal is more developer-orientated, and Joomla is more user-focused. Developers who favour Drupal do so because it is easier to manipulate and create new functionality. However, if you're not a developer, you will find it harder to learn to use Drupal than Joomla. One advantage of a CMS is you can restrict who can and cannot view and edit content. Although Joomla has this ability, the way Drupal handles this is easier and is more flexible than Joomla at the moment. Joomla developers are aware of this and are working on a solution that's due to be released in version 1.6. The biggest criticism of Joomla is the way it stores content. I'll discuss this in more detail in lesson 7a, but briefly, you only have 2 levels of categories which can become difficult to manage on a complex site. Drupal has unlimited categories and subcategories. I personally don't have much of a problem with this, but many others do. Once again, the Joomla developers are providing a new solution to this in version 1.6. So there's 3 strikes against Joomla, but they're relatively small issues, and can be overcome to some extent with extensions. The big point in Joomla's favour is its popularity. This means that there are fantastic extensions available, including e-commerce, document management, and community sites. Also, a CMS displays its content using a template design that you either create or you obtain from a template provider. When you're starting out, you really want to use a pre-made template, and there are far more templates created for Joomla than Drupal. If you're a web developer, you can use Joomla's popularity to help sell your services. Your customers will feel more at ease if you tell them that you use the most popular CMS that's supported by thousands of developers. That means if they ever want to change developers, then it will be easy to find someone else to take over their website. Now, of course, you don't want to lose their business in the future, and the whole point of using Joomla is so they can manage their own site. But this assurance will help you win more business. Now, let's have a look at WordPress. WordPress is designed to help people create blogs, and overall it's an excellent product. WordPress is regarded as the best blogging platform. Joomla can be used really successfully as a blog, but to take advantage of advanced blogging features, you need to get some extensions. It's a simpler product than Joomla, and as a result the interface doesn't need as much functionality, so it's easier to use than Joomla. WordPress has add-ons available, but you'll never experience the full functionality that you do from a CMS like Joomla. If you purely want a blog, then WordPress may be the better option. However, many bloggers find that they want to do more in the future. I've found that it makes more sense to start with a platform that provides full functionality. If you're a web developer, you'll be more productive using one platform for all your projects. It's easy to sell your customers on the idea of having a comprehensive CMS that will meet their needs in the future.
So, there's a quick wrap-up of why I went with Joomla. It can take a little while to get your head around it, which is why you're watching these videos. But once you've set up your first site, I'm sure you'll love using it. In the next video, I show you how to download and use FTP and zip software. If you're familiar with this process, you might like to skip ahead to lesson 4, which is all about installing Joomla. If you'd like to watch these videos on your computer instead of online, why not upgrade your membership? Both Windows Media Video and QuickTime versions are included. See the link below to learn more about this and the rest of the course.